Good morning. Let me add my thank you and my welcome for all of you to join us here today as we talk about the road ahead with respect to customer experience. This is my fourth trip to Tokyo, and I have to say I love your country and I love your city, so every time it is a good trip. This statement you are all probably very familiar with by now. It is our safe harbor statement, and I'm excited to have it here today because I'm going to walk through 5 product announcements and 1 bonus partnership, so we are covered under our safe harbor statement as we talk about the future direction of customer experience and the road ahead. I really enjoy this picture because it indicates the world we live in has forever changed. This was taken right outside of our headquarters in Redwood Shores, California, very close to Silicon Valley. It is a self-driving car. It is autonomous. And right now, as we all know, all of the major car manufacturers, and Google in specific, is working on self-driving vehicles. Clearly, the world has changed forever. I smile. That is a flip phone, not a smartphone. And just 9 years ago, the first smartphone was developed. If any of us wanted to take a selfie, 9 years ago, this was it. It was that picture. And it's been amazing the explosion of data that we all are capturing now with our smartphones. The world we live in has changed. In fact, you might remember your first iPod. This was that device that just had its birthday on Monday. The iPod is 15 years old. And Apple promised us that we would have 1,000 songs and then 10,000 songs in our pocket. This replaced my Walkman, right? And it changed forever for all of us the idea of big data. Who would think about walking around with 10,000 songs in their pocket? It was a sign of things to come. Today, we live in an era of abundance. The Mobile Marketing Association will tell you there are 5.3 billion smartphones that are active in the world. There are only 4.8 billion people estimated to have a toothbrush. There are more smartphones than toothbrushes active in the world. This is truly amazing. In a world where there is so much data, where there is so much intelligence or artificial intelligence that a car can drive itself, we may not even be aware of how much it affects every one of us. But if we just look at the simple diagram, whether it's the movies we watch, or the traffic patterns that tell us where to drive, or how we might shop for goods, or shop for dating, right? Of how we might book a vacation or a hotel room, or even now, finally here even in Tokyo, where Uber is coming along and changing the way we order car service, artificial intelligence living on top of lots of data is affecting all of our lives every day through these simple devices. I smile. In a world where there is so much data, when there is so much artificial intelligence, the barriers to technology, to coming into a business are very low. This is a picture of our chairman, Larry Ellison. And just a couple of weeks ago at Oracle Open World, I watched him create a virtual data center in approximately 12 minutes. When I started my career, that function to create a data center might be 6 months or even a year. And now it is in 12 minutes. So what can happen in a world with so much data, with artificial intelligence, and such a low barrier to entry is disruption, right? We are all prey to this. And the winners and the losers in today's society are very interesting. In 1955, about the time I was born, right, the first line of companies you see there in Group A made up part of the Fortune 500. The second line also made up part of the Fortune 500 in 1955. The first line of companies never adapted, and today they don't exist. The second line of companies did adapt and continue to be part of the Fortune 500. And this third row of companies was not conceived of even just 50, 55 years ago. right? So we see that there are winners and losers as the change goes, but there's something very different about winning and then coming in second place. Because today, companies that initially looked like great initiatives, from video rentals, for taxis, for booking of hotels, are getting replaced by companies using data and artificial intelligence, and they're eliminating them. The winners are actually eliminating the use of the second. Another type of company that some of us may be familiar with is a young technology company. Atlassian is the name of this company. It is very interesting because they sell to the development community. And once they started to change and think of their customer at the center of their enterprise, in 2 years' time, they tripled their revenue from 110 million USD to 330 million USD. They went public on this new philosophy. They have no salespeople. When you call the company and you're looking to make purchases, they direct you to their commerce site. And they make everything very easy for the customer to buy directly. In doing so today, they have a valuation on the stock market of 5 billion US. And they have thought about making customer centricity common to their business. Now you might say, well, this is a technology company. Of course that is possible. My industry, my business is much older. Let's talk about another winner. Very common to see a Tesla and to understand the story of Tesla. Tesla does not have salespeople. Tesla has put the customer at the center of the business, and everything is about the customer. And they are winning on this. And when you go to their store, the consultants who answer questions direct you back to the website. But they are also doing something else. They are fighting with their vision, and they are expressing their vision to all of us and inviting us to participate. I'd like to play a short video about the vision of Tesla so that all of us can connect to this as we continue in this discussion of artificial intelligence. Oops. If you could run the video, please. Thank you.
We were hunters and foragers. The frontier was everywhere. We were bounded only by the earth and the ocean and the sky. The open road still softly calls. Our little terraqueous globe is the madhouse of those 100,000 millions of worlds. We who cannot even put our own planetary home in order, riven with rivalries and hatreds, are we to venture out into space? By the time we're ready to settle even the nearest other planetary systems, we will have changed. The simple passage of so many generations will have changed us. Necessity will have changed us. We're an adaptable species. It will not be we who reach Alpha Centauri and the other nearby stars. It will be a species very like us, but with more of our strengths and fewer of our weaknesses. More confident, far-seeing, capable, and prudent. For all our failings, despite our limitations and fallibilities, we humans are capable of greatness. What new wonders undreamt of in our time will we have wrought in another generation and another? How far will our nomadic species have wandered by the end of the next century and the next millennium? Our remote descendants, safely arrayed on many worlds through the solar system and beyond, will be unified by their common heritage, by their regard for their home planet, and by the knowledge that whatever other life may be, the only humans in all the universe come from Earth. They will gaze up and strain to find the blue dot in their skies. They will marvel at how vulnerable the repository of all our potential once was, how perilous our infancy, how humble our beginnings, how many rivers we had to cross before we found our way.
Tesla is a wonderful example of appealing to all of our customers' desire to do even more, all of us to think even greater thoughts. And so as we walk forward with the firm knowledge that we live in a changed world, that the transformation is taking hold even into old line businesses, we start to ask the question, is what is different about the winners? And we begin to understand that customer experience is becoming a sum of all total interactions that we can make digital and that we can make available in micro moments. What I mean by digital is that all of us are connected all of the time. And when we are seeking information, we need to be available to our customer. Our customer needs that right away. And it needs it when I'm asking. That is what a micro moment is. No longer is the customer experience linear. It's not that you market to me and then you sell to me and that you service to me, but rather I reach out to you when I need you. And when I need you, you need to be there. And that is that notion of the micro moment. The customer experience isn't even cyclical. It hopscotches around. And it is now the imperative of the companies that are winning to put the customer experience at the center of the enterprise. And more frequently than ever before, the job of the CEO is to think about the customer experience and have a willingness to adapt the organization to improve that experience. And so all of this can sound very intimidating if I'm in a very old industry, or it can sound very normal if I'm in a very young industry. Oracle has spent a lot of time thinking about how to help each of our customers achieve this customer-centric vision for the user experience. And we think there are three key areas to discuss. One is in your sales process, one is to evaluate your revenue process, and one is to evaluate your customer process. And the focus in each area means that there should be a prescriptive path to get there. So let's talk about sales. The focus in the old world has often been on activity. What are my sales teams doing by activity? And I tend to focus more on the process than on the outcome. Today, the companies that are winning in the sales arena are focusing more on using data to think about the outcome than simply on the activity. And for Oracle, this means that we are trying to help our customers work towards a culture of performance, not activity. To think about what is the micro moment for each customer, and to step forward then and say, I'm willing to change my organization to make it easier for my customer. This is a total change over the focus solely on activity. The second area is to focus then on your revenue. And historically, even in my own capacity, I would study spreadsheets and numbers and try and figure out how we were doing based on the revenue. And instead, it is now thinking about how can I take the friction out of the process for the customer? How can I use tools like commerce or configuring, pricing, and quoting to let customers make acquisition and purchase in a very frictionless fashion? It's to focus on the power of using real-time analytics in a micro moment to focus on the revenue creation and not, again, on the numbers itself. And finally, the idea of focusing on the customer has changed to say that in each moment where they reach out to me, I'm there for them, and I focus on what they need, and I'm trying to convert then their experience into advocacy, their experience into recommendation, and their experience into loyalty. And with this backdrop then, we have seen many, many, many companies succeed. We have over 5,500 customers now using the Customer Experience Cloud. They are using it in every geography of the world, in every region of the world, in every size company, from the very small to the medium to the large to the enormous global conglomerate. Many different size companies are finding the same value. In fact, if you look closely at the slide, every single industry finds pieces of this to work to help drive their customer-centric strategy. To do all of this, we've had to build a framework and a series of different applications so that our customers can use them as needed. Every single one of them needs to be able to stand alone and compete as a best-of-breed solution. So if we were to look at marketing, our marketing solutions have to be best of breed and be able to be acquired and used standalone. If we were to look at service, it needs to be best of breed and to stand alone. And Oracle then has built out a portfolio for customer experience that all of the applications can stand alone. But no sooner than we built a very broad category of applications that are standalone, we began working on connecting them so that marketing connects to sales, connects to service, to commerce, right? To social, to CPQ, and you'll even see here to the marketplace, to other people's cloud products so that we can connect all of them. So we've done this by focusing on a platform to take best-of-breed applications and connect them to each other and to third-party clouds. We've also said we've been in this business for a very long time. We've worked with a lot of you with a platform called Siebel. We've done a lot of industry work. So we are now rebuilding the industry capability into the cloud for each best-of-breed application. And it is from this framework we can start to now bring to you new innovation. This means I get to make some of those announcements. And I think the first one is the most important, and it's in the area of artificial intelligence. Again, from the self-driving car to the prediction of movies or purchases or traffic or dating, or hotels or anything, artificial intelligence is coming into all of our work. And Oracle has said, we believe the end customer outcome for your customer is most important. We are investing in artificial intelligence because we believe it will help you serve your customer. And if your customer succeeds, then you will succeed. And if we help you succeed with our customers, we believe we will also succeed. We are investing in artificial intelligence so you can give your customer the best possible outcome every time. We'll also talk about a new method of sales and service being blended. We'll talk about what we're doing in mobile. We'll talk about what we're doing in data and analytics. And we'll share what is going on in the industries. So the next part of this, you can just relax. These are some very interesting developments we've just announced from Oracle I'm going to share today. The first one is this notion of adaptive intelligence applications. This is a new category of applications from Oracle, adaptive intelligence applications, based on the idea of artificial intelligence. The reason we have created this, why have we done it, is again, we believe about giving your end customer the best possible outcome. So it would be natural to say, okay, we understand why you did it. Now, what is it? It is this idea of taking web-scale data, of taking billions of consumer profiles, hundreds of millions of business profiles, and matching it up with all of the web-scale data we can add, of matching it up with your first-party data from your ERP systems and the third-party data available from the internet and from the Internet of Things. Putting all of this together and applying data science and then exposing it to you via the cloud. So it's a very interesting idea that you build a very big database, a very big data cloud, you attach data science, and you make it executable over the internet. This is an adaptive intelligence application. So if you understand why we've done this to help you give the best outcome, and you understand it's a combination of data cloud and machine learning, then how does it work? We take all of the data at web scale and we put it into the data cloud. It's behavioral data, it's purchase data, it's social data, it's demographic and psychographic data, and it's the data that comes out of your Oracle applications. All of this is known as first-party data. We have assembled this into the data cloud. Next, We have applied data science, deep discovery, and machine learning, and graph analysis across all of this data. It is both structured and unstructured. It could be pictures, it could be purchase behaviors, it could be context from the internet. We have applied it then to specific functions that you can call via an API and execute a singular function. If I'm in sales, what is the next best offer? If I'm in service, what is the next best need? If I'm in marketing, what is the next best action? If I'm in human resources, who is the next best candidate? If I run the supply chain, what is the next best freight decision? If I run financials, what's the best discount to offer? All of these questions can be asked and answered through the data cloud and machine learning as an adaptive intelligent application. We make it available to all of the different cloud apps, and importantly, we believe it has to be omni-channel. Your customers, when they deal with you, may come to you over the web. They may come to you through a widget or a call in an application. They may come to you via email or a chatbot, right? A conversational interface. It might be into a support center and a blended agent. It could be just a straight support center. For Oracle, how this all works is that we've built it, we've put it into a framework, and you can execute it from your existing application set. It is built for the business user. It is not a black box. It is not a hidden science. It is so that for people who run businesses can work with the machine learning through an interface and say, these are the questions we want to apply deep adaptive intelligence to. It continuously learns, and it is omni-channel in its delivery, meaning any execution platform. I want to give you a practical example relatively quickly for one of our customers that's a very large coffee company, and introduce you to one of their customers, a young woman who lives in San Francisco. Her name is Taylor. And we know from Taylor's profile data, she's 32 years old, she lives in San Francisco. From her activity on the web today, we can tell lots of different things about her. Where she's located, we know what the temperature is. We look to her web behavior, and we can see she's outdoors. There's pictures she's posted that she likes of riding bicycles and camping, so we know that she's sporty. We also, through her loyalty card, know her purchase history, right? We know she buys a coffee each day, and we know she recently bought an expensive espresso machine, right? This is all the data that's available about Taylor in the data cloud. In a traditional loyalty application, you might write a rule, a predefined rule that says, buy 6 coffees, get number 7 free. So if you bought a coffee on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, on Sunday, the old style would say, offer a free coffee. Buy 6, number 7 is free. The improvement on this idea was to go ahead and become predictive and say that it is Sunday, and we know that our customer likes coffee, so on Sunday we'll offer her a free coffee. The step ahead using artificial intelligence looks at the context of the day and the time and the person and makes a slightly different recommendation. We know her digital footprint. We know what she's done. We know the action of her transaction in her loyalty card. We can put this all together and make a different offer. Because it's a hot day, because it's San Francisco, in context, we're not going to just offer a coffee, we're going to offer her an iced coffee. We're also going to be aware that she had recently purchased an expensive machine and offer her an upsell to a more expensive coffee bean. Even if she doesn't exercise and accept the offer, the application learns, and it looks at a profile like Taylor, and it gets smarter for every successive interaction for every other customer. So we've moved from the idea of a predefined rule to simply trying to predict based on past behavior, future behavior. We've involved now the idea of the context of the request to get the best possible outcome in a given moment. And while this is very straightforward for an example like coffee, it applies to all of our businesses and producing the best possible outcome for your end customer. This is the idea of adaptive intelligence. an AI, artificial intelligence application that comes with the data cloud that you exercise from your existing systems. The next area that's a big deal for us is the Engagement Cloud. So we have looked at businesses where sales and service continue to merge, and we have developed a unified sales and service application in a single cloud now. So much like I said, Oracle believes that all of our applications have to serve you as best of breed. We still have an independent sales application, and we still have an independent service application. But when I come into an industry where that's blended, like financial services, when I come into an industry like media or utilities, where that is blended, when I come into an example like Tesla, where they don't have a salesperson and they have a service consultant that does both, the blended agent and the Engagement Cloud is a new answer to bring all of this together quickly to a single unified platform. It's aimed very much at mid-sized companies that don't have lots of separate departments, and it makes the unification of sales and service that much easier. The third big area we continue to work on is still, yes, the mobile. The work here is not done. The first thing we have done is we've said that the mobile application needs to think about the role of the user and change based on who's calling it up. So if you are a direct salesperson or a direct service person, you get one version of the app. If you work with partners or with channels, you get another version of the app. And if you're actually a seller for a business partner or a channel, you get a third version of the app. We have now created a role-based application. The second thing we've done is we've added to the mobile app all of the marketing functions to go with the sales and the quotation functions and the service functions and all of the analytics to bring this all down so that it's a much more complete app. We've said it needs to be agile. So if you wanted to add an artificial intelligence app and call it from our application, we've made it agile. We've made it responsive so that it recognizes what size the tablet I am on, what size the phone that I'm on. And it changes the behavior of the screen and the look and the feel based on the customer's device. We've said that the applications now need to work offline as well as they work when they're connected and online. So we've extended this framework into the offline domain in a very dramatic fashion. And finally, we've added voice activation, the idea of a chatbot, so that I can talk to the application. Because we find as consumers and customers become younger and younger, the voice activation is becoming one of the preferred ways of interacting. All of this has been brought to the mobile app as the third big announcement. The fourth area that we are going to talk about is data visualization. It is the idea that I can take data from many different sources, combine it together, both internal and external, to the Oracle set of products. We can take all of this data and by role, combine it, whether I'm working at the desktop, against the cloud, against on-premise, or in a mobile environment. But I can bring this together across a broad range of data sources, look to create insights, and then publish them out in the form of storytelling or narration to all of the people that I interact with. This is a huge step forward in bringing analytics into the cloud application and putting it on a mobile device. It is all being done by role, and again by persona, so that if I run this and I'm in sales or I'm in service, but if I run this if I'm in finance or I'm in manufacturing or I'm in logistics or I'm in HR, the idea is to bring these analytics all down across multiple sources into a single cloud instance and push it back out to mash up internal and external data. This is a huge step forward in the cloud. And finally, as I said earlier, we come to the discussion of industries. You'll see the first 6 to my left. Oracle has gone, looked into our portfolio, looked into our customers, and looked into our experience, and we've added versions of our cloud software to address high-tech and manufacturing with unique data models and business process. We've done the same for financial services and for consumer goods and retail. We've added capabilities that are unique to the communications industry for the communications version of the software. And the same with the automotive, especially with the blending of the traditional salesperson and the service person. We've now started to roll out a new higher education cloud that's aimed at things like a student information system, all to make the uptake and the use of the cloud quicker and more beneficial to your customers. The areas we are continuing to develop and continue to invest in as we walk forward are around hospitality, they're around the government and public sector, they are coming in insurance, they are coming in healthcare and life sciences, across media and utilities. All of these areas require different business process and different function underneath the application set, and we're continuing to bring this forward and to rebuild it from the ground up inside the cloud so that there are multiple different types of cloud by industry. This is a huge move forward for all of us. This is the bonus. This is another one that I find fun. I spend a lot of time in LinkedIn. A lot of us spend a lot of time in LinkedIn. When we look at the information about a candidate or the information about someone we're going to meet for the first time, LinkedIn is becoming the #1 place in the world that people go and look and search your profile. We have created a partnership with LinkedIn so that when I am inside the sales application, I can actually, if I have a premium license to LinkedIn, connect to LinkedIn and execute searches and campaigns from inside the Sales Cloud into LinkedIn. And in doing so, I can bring back the relative news and the relative contact information into the sales application and then begin to communicate and to market to the candidate. I use it before I go to meet executives to read about their background and their history. So I don't use it to create a marketing campaign. I use it so I'm a more informed individual when I'm coming to your office to meet you. But in either use case or any others you might use, we have made this work together with LinkedIn inside of the Sales Cloud application. This is a very big step forward. I realize in my enthusiasm, I've gone quickly, but I wanted to bring forward the idea for all of us that we truly live in a changed world, where so much data is available, where artificial intelligence affects everything, and where the barriers to entry are so low, we see that the winning companies are making customer-centric behavior the core of their business. We're seeing a willingness to change the organizational structure, and they come up with new job roles and new job titles to become more customer-centric. We're seeing that nobody makes the leap from where they are here to the end line all at once. So we've built a path to performance. And based on your own needs, we can work in a step-by-step fashion. Whether we focus first on sales, on revenue, or actually customer outcome, there is a path forward to take steps ahead in each domain. And finally, our commitment to you is to continue to invest in the artificial intelligence applications. We will continue to enrich our mobile devices with voice and other activated features to make them easier to consume. We will continue to push the analytics into a platform that is designed by role and persona and easy to carry. And we will continue this area of the Engagement Cloud, where I'm blending sales and service to bring this all together and make it easier to execute. As we roll forward in this change world, if you are inspired to come ahead with us, then there's many opportunities this afternoon to come and see the other presenters and to look at the demonstrations and meet all of our partners to see how all of these can come and have an impact for each one of you. So at this point, I thank you, and I ask you to enjoy the rest of the day and explore this area of customer centricity with us. Thank you.